Hello, viewers, fans, whatever you want to call yourself. Welcome to the last episode of URC Unloaded. I am with, or backed by popular demand, the new man in rugby, Ryan Wilson. How are you, Ryan? How are you?
Well, mate, I'm sweating. I'm in a box in Glasgow Warriors. They put me in a box because they said I was too loose at the weekend. So they've literally put me in a cupboard and said, "Don't come out again until the trophy gets delivered here." I am still recovering, Shanks. That's for sure. I'm still recovering. It's been a big few days, but my goodness, there wasn't a better place to be than
My goodness,
the
mate,
mighty Glasgow.
you were action packed. I remember speaking to you in Limerick. I was going, "Oh, are you sure? Like, this is the right idea to go over to Pretoria because it is a nightmare traveling." You had no time there. You're going to arrive tired no matter how you look at it. But from seeing some of the clips of the weekend, not just on URC, Super Sport, Premier Sports as well, you were everywhere. How many interviews do you reckon you did?
Oh, hey, more than I've ever done all season. It was ridiculous, but it was good because they needed someone from Glasgow Warriors there fighting in the corner because nobody believed. No one believed in Glasgow Warriors. None of you boys back in the studio believed. Barks was literally splinters up his you-know-what from sitting on the fence. And no one believed. So I thought I'd better go out there as the travelling support. There was 15,000 lunatic Bulls fans in a fan zone outside the stadium watching the Springboks Wales game, and I was kicking about in the Glasgow Warriors t-shirt going, "Come on, Glasgow!" But I actually got a better reception than I did at Munster still, even doing that. So it was interesting.
They like you better there. I reckon you're like rugby's version of Rain Man at the moment, because the way you predicted the quarters, the semis, and a final, fair play to you. I mean, a lot of that was with your heart. I get that. But mate, you did it all.
It was, and you're right. Like, a lot of it was with my heart, but there was still bits of it with my head. Like I spoke about,
yeah, of course.
I spoke about obviously, the quarters last year, and they failed, and that Munster team were really peaking, and then the Challenge Cup. And when we get Dunky on, he'll talk about the mood in the camp, but I'm still in and around it. I'm, coming here on a Monday and sitting on a couple of meetings, but the boys are feeling good, and that squad they've got, if everyone fires on the day, then they win big games. And I'm telling you now, we can go through the list of players later on, but pretty much every player, 1 to 23 in that squad on the match day, fired and were ridiculous. And they came out all against the odds in front of 52,000 screaming bockers, biltong and Thrive-fueled castles and brandy and cokes. They were ready for it. Because remember, there had been a South Africa game before, so 15, 20 odd thousand people had been on the Castle Lights all afternoon. By the time they got into that stadium, they were charged. They were ready to go.
We'll wait till Dunky comes on before we chat about the game. But what was the craziest thing you've done last weekend? Because I could see you walking out with the cup with Aki's Botha, like giving it a little tug. I saw you on the roof of Loftus.
Mate, yeah, you're right. I actually forgot about that. It's all a bit of a blur because I was trying to stay off the pints on match day. Stephen Kitsoff was trying to lure me in. And I was like, mate, I've got to go on the TV. I've got to talk. I've got to do some bits. And I know it would have made me perform better. But yeah, meeting Backy's Botha, mate, when he shook my hand, it literally consumed me, my whole arm. What a giant man, but what a lovely bloke. He carried it out with him. You're right, on the stadium the day before on the roof, kicking about there. But I think just the whole atmosphere, Shanks, it was just another level. You get a real feeling. People talked about when the South African teams came into the URC and, is it the right thing? Well, I think everyone can tell now, yes, it's the right thing, because honestly, like, the way they love rugby over there, it's like nothing I've seen before. Like, they are mad for it, and it was pretty special. So, yeah, that and every steak I consumed, it was pretty good.
I'll be honest with you, right? When we heard the news that we're doing a final from Dublin, I sort of rubbed my hands together thinking, this is an easier trip. It's an hour flight from UK. But I swear to you, mate, when you were out there, when we saw the atmosphere there, I just wanted to be there and just absorb it and ride that wave with them, because honestly, it looked amazing. From, I suppose, the whole of the game, finishing like they did on their own line, holding the ball up. It looked incredible. Tell us, I mean, post-game, What happened? I mean, there was a lot of WWE interviews after. Boys just shouting stuff down. Going,
But
yeah.
that was it. And you're right, Shay, it's like when I see the box, I'm going out there, no matter what. And he was like, mate, you can't be bothered to travel all the way there. And I was like, yes, I can, because if and when the boys do this, the celebrations are going to be crazy. But I was like, I want to be a part of it. And I at that point, I didn't know they would sell out 52,000 at probably one of the most iconic stadiums in the world. But you're right, it was madness. Interviewing everyone before the game. The boys were really calm though. I stayed in the same hotel as the boys as well, so I was with them before the match. I was up in the team dinner room, and they were just sort of, everyone was pretty relaxed. I was amazed, like, because we spoke about how they had been the week before after the Munster game, and I went into the change room. I was ready to spray champagne at the semi-final when they beat Munster at Thomond Park. But I went in there and everyone was so cool, calm, collected. They were just sort of sat around there like, listen, job's not done yet. We've got to make it over there. And yeah, economy or not, I mean, you could have folded me up, put me in a suitcase and sent me over there. I would have still been there. And it was special, mate. It was really special.
You had a nice chat with Franco Smith after the game, and he didn't really show too much emotion again. We saw him hugging his wife. Well, I hope it was his wife. But what was it like post-match, sort of when the cameras were off? Did he let loose a little bit?
Oh yeah, he let loose. He had promised, and Dunky will tell you this in a minute, he had promised the boys that they would open up the whiskey and they'd have the cigars when they won. And that was 2 years ago. So I reminded him of that.
I had to go and buy the cigars. I went across the shop.
Welcome, Duncan Weir, to the URC Unloaded podcast. I was going to give you a big intro, but you've already done it yourself.
Don't worry.
You can do what you want now, mate.
URC
champions.
Franco Smith owes him 20 quid.
Yeah, I know. I was like,
how was it, Dunk? Tell us, you had to buy cigars, did you?
I did. But yeah, like Wilson, Franco said this from minute one, when we get our hands on a big trophy and we get to celebrate, just think how good that cigar and that little whiskey will taste. So I think we're kind of been in this little team restaurant a bit for like an hour. Yeah. And I just clocked Stafford McDowell and I just said, cigars! And then we marched over to the Monte Casino, got stocked up, and then came back and we're dishing them out. It was, it was cool. It was a cool.
How good was the atmosphere, Dunk? After,
unreal.
I don't want to do a disservice here, but your role is slightly changed from maybe what it was.
Yeah.
But you're on the bench watching the last moments of the game.
Yeah.
What's going through your mind there?
He's gone. He's forgot.
He didn't like my question. He didn't like my question, did he? He didn't like it.
Forgot to pay the electricity bill. I can't believe it. His internet's gone down.
He didn't like my question.
I'll tell you what, he did though. He made it over to the shops pretty quick because the boys were reminded Franco, listen, you promised us cigars, and I think there was maybe like 2 or 3. That was it, and there was like 30 blokes wanting them. So
he's back. He's back now. He's back. Talk us through your emotions if you can, Dunky.
Oh, he put himself on mute as well.
You put yourself on mute. Well,
I remember my first podcast.
We're having a few technical issues with Duncan Weir.
This is why you get the gold boys. This is why if you do these things live, there is opportunity for them to freaking go wrong. So you've got to be very careful.
He's still gone. No, mate, we can't hear anything from you for anyone listening or going live. This is live. This is what happens when we go live. I saw a real good rendition of Rattling Bog after the game. Boys going for it. Boys with ski goggles on. I mean, it just looks like an amazing culture and atmosphere within the team right now.
Yeah, it is. And I'll keep talking until we can hear the bog trot. I don't know.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we talk. We want to give us a talk through Rattling Bog, mate. You were in full flow.
Yeah, that's how long's that been the team song? I can't remember. And then
it's been a while, eh?
Yeah, when you've got a head of hair like a bog brush that cleans toilets, it just kind of fit the song perfectly. And yeah, I honestly. It's like I was saying to the press yesterday, it was like every camera and was just watching me being a lunatic instead of watching anyone else. Yeah, I just went mental, and it was just pure raw emotion. Like, it wasn't like trying to grab the headlines or anything like that. It was just like I was just so happy, and like the way that we'd done it, the way the semi final went, and then the short turnaround. Like, we were home for basically a day, and then we were back on a flight for another week. Getting us all out there and all the rest of it. It was we're going to be looking back and saying that was a pretty special win for a long time.
Man, how bad was the flight back though, Boggs? Like,
Oh
how
my
sore is the back today? The back must be dust.
I genuinely, my ankles were like basketballs by the time we got in Glasgow. It was mental. I've never been so uncomfortable in my life and so hungover, and all the emotions. My heartburn, I can't tell you how bad the heartburn was. It was.
Oh, I bet you're happy to see the kids, but then like Nicola just like, right, take the kids. You're like, no, please no, please no.
I know. Oh, they were at gymnastics, so I went and seen them, and then we went out for dinner, and then I went and joined the boys for Mad Monday, and it was unbelievable.
Did you have your ski goggles? Also, who bought the ski goggles?
I don't know. I think there was only two boys. Kyle Stain and Sione had them, and then the rest of them had like the big visor sunglasses. A few boys cutting about in them that are supposed to be trendy at the minute. So yeah, there was only two boys with full ski goggles, but I was never going to do that. I didn't want to jinx it, if you know what I mean. I just wanted to enjoy it. But yeah, the atmosphere at Loftus was pretty hostile, to say the least. And they're a passionate group of people out in South Africa, and they love their rugby. So just the way the physical effort from the forwards were unbelievable, I thought. And I thought that against Munster as well. Like, that was like test match level or above it, like how they had to front up. And I don't think another tight-headed World Rugby could have played 80 minutes in 3 weeks and performed the way that Xander performed in that last 10 minutes. Like, he's a joke. So, big credit to the forwards and the backs, to be fair.
I'm sure Shanks will go over some more of the players in a minute, but you just mentioned the atmosphere quickly there. So hostile and like ridiculous, like running out to 52,000, like with the fireworks, everything happening. But when you boys scored, it took you as a fan sitting in the stands. Like, did they score? Because it went so quiet that it silenced the crowd when you boys scored, and you couldn't work out whether there was a try or not. Especially where I was so odd. Did you feel that? You felt on the bench?
Yeah, it was. You know who they get, the commentator boy that's done like the intros when you're warming up, and they're like, "Any Glasgow Warriors fans in the building, give us a cheer." And it's like radio silent. And then he goes for the Bulls, and the whole place erupts. And I would just remember doing some kicking with Stafford McDowell, and I was just like creasing myself laughing that we are literally here by ourselves and we need to go and do this. But I remember celebrating a few of the scores and getting absolute pelters from the crowd. But it was all pretty in good sport, I think.
You hope the last two games, Donkey, I think. Defence has been incredible for certain periods when there's a lot of momentum, either with Munster or the Bulls. You've just come up trumps with a massive effort. I mean, is it nice to be able to win differently to what I suppose you've done for most of the season? Because most of the season you've just basically outscored a lot of teams with your attack.
Yeah,
but I reckon these last couple of games you've had to win differently and find new ways to win. I mean.
Yeah, absolutely.
How pleasing is that?
I think we slightly tweaked our plans the last couple of weeks. So credit to Peter Murchie, our defence coach. Like, he's done an outstanding job. And then the boys have just brought it to life. Like, literally putting their body on the line. Like, I don't know if you've spoken about it, but how George Turner like jumped 3 channels to go and smash people was
huge.
Just like,
hit that was.
It was mental. Like,
Marco van Staden.
Yeah, it's an absolute car crash. But I think it just shows, like you say, it's a different mentality that we put into our defence. Like, that was going to be, we put so much effort that there was going to be where we show our physicality, and also around the breakdown as well. Like, how many turnovers did the Bulls get against Leinster the week before? So we knew the contact area was going to be a physical challenge there, but. Yeah, you pride yourself in defence, and that has to be one of the best defences performances that I've seen in a Warriors jersey.
How difficult do you think it's going to be next year now?
There'll be a target in our back, especially with Bulls coming to Scotstoun, that's for sure. Yeah, I mean, it'll probably, after we lost being top of the table and after the Lions, I think everyone kind of just thought, oh, that was Glasgow. They've had a good season, but they've fallen off the bandwagon a little bit. So, like, we've had that experience of being top of the league for a couple of weeks and having that kind of mantra of being the top seed team. Next season it'll be a different challenge being the champions. It'll be a lot of teams that will have our name and try and kind of come and beat us up. But yeah, I think we just have to embrace it. Like we're here, we're champions for a reason, and we just have to go away, celebrate this still for another couple of weeks, and then come back swinging next year.
Yeah, that's it. At least another couple of weeks of celebration done. So I'm taking a day off today, but I'll be back. I'll be back with you.
For big special games like this, was anything done differently? Like pre-match, was there a video? Were there messages from fans, from family? Was there anything special about it to sort of get you with that emotional high?
Yeah, no, we did get good luck messages. A few former players and stuff gave us a good luck messages, so that was really nice. There was quite a lot of the boys from the 2015 winning side that dropped in some messages, and then some kind of local people around.
Did you send a message to yourself?
Nah, I should have done. Right, done. Good luck. Cheers. No,
Celebrate.
Yeah, it was. I remember in 2015, it was real emotional. Like, I think that Gregor got all the partners and all the kids, and like, yeah, it was a proper emotional one that day. But it wasn't as touching. It was more less emotional, but more motivational, I would say, on this one.
Yeah, well, we got another man to join us now, Stevie Ferris. Fez, you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Oh, we can hear you, mate.
Oh, yes.
We're just going over the final, my friend. And
I know.
What
unbelievable.
a game that was.
How you good?
Yeah, unbelievable. Congratulations, Duncan. Well done, buddy.
Thank you. Appreciate
well done. Tell me this. Why was Sander Fagerson wearing sunglasses instead of champagne goggles?
That's it. I don't know if boys couldn't get their hands on any. There was only 2 sets, but they're in fashion, or supposed to be in fashion at the minute. So I don't know if he's just.
I know the answer. I know the answer to this, Dunks. It's because if Franco Smith had searched anyone's bags before the game and found champagne goggles, he would have killed them. So at least the sunglasses, they go, well, we're in South Africa, it's sunny. So I reckon that's why, because that's almost the in-between. Because I'm exactly like you, Dunks. I would be so worried about packing those goggles because it's quite superstitious. But I did a Challenge Cup last year. Because it wasn't quite the Champions Cup, I packed little Speedo swimming goggles and got a little spin cigar ready for it. But yeah, the too long game didn't go as we wanted it to. But you don't want to be going and putting that on you. That he would. No. I wonder what he would have said if he had found them before Dunk. So
yeah. Now, Fez, you were the only one, Fez, to pick the Bulls as winners.
Oh, you're spoofing. You're spoofing.
Okay. To be honest, Dunky, Ryan, I did as well. I picked the Bulls purely because of the home advantage. I thought travel might have affected you boys a little more than than we thought. But Fez, how happy were we? Final whistle for Glasgow. I felt really bad that I picked Bulls as probably predicted winners. I felt so bad because it was an epic final.
Yeah, I think a lot of that, my decision, Shanks, came from the game the week before against Leinster and how dominant they were and how good they were against nearly a full international side in Leinster. So I was just like, Glasgow, off the back of a big result against Munster, they're not going to be able to get themselves up for it again. The travel, it just felt like all the odds were stacked against them. But that's what's made this competition so good this season, is that there have been a few surprises, and the odds were against Glasgow, and brilliant. It's brilliant for us here in the Northern Hemisphere that the Glasgow boys have done it and have won another title in the URC. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing them kick on now next season and Donkey, you're there for another season or two, are you? Are you gonna hang around? Yeah,
I'm still
nice one.
I'll be polishing the boots every week, hopefully. But no, just on that physical thing, like I think that score before half time was a huge one because we knew when we played them 5 weeks ago or whatever, we finished the last 20 minutes so strong. So we were confident in our fitness levels, even though the travel and the list of other things. But I thought how we grew into that second half was just outstanding. Like if Jack Dempsey scores that try, like we merited to win that final, scoring 4 tries away from home in a final, the manner that we did. Like I know the Bulls had that last maul and all the rest of it, but I think we genuinely merited that win, which was so pleasing to show. I was saying before, Stevie, like I don't know another tight head in world rugby that could play 380 minutes on the bounce and perform the way that's
unbelievable.
Yeah, Doug, when you say that though about Glasgow demerited, because I'm completely with you. Was there, felt it, saw it, defence, attack, like took them to the cleaners in parts of the game. What does it make you feel like when Jake White comes out and tells you that the ref basically won it from?
I don't want to throw the ref under the bus, but I thought the only decision that we really got was the last one at the Mall. The one in the first half when Darge gets done, when usually it's like the attacking cleaner, they blast past the ruck and they get penalised. Darge does it on the defensive side, blast 3 boys off the ball, and then we get a jackal and he says it. Darge blast it. Like that's just sheer physical dominance. I didn't think that was a fair call on that one, but maybe I'm being harsh. But I think overall our physicality and our game management was just spot on for the 80 minutes, and that's why we got the result.
Fez likes a bit of controversy. Like, did you see the Jake White comments?
Yeah.
Like, I just think that's a bit disrespectful to Glasgow.
Yeah,
no, 100% agree. 100% agree. We've had Jake White on, and he's come across as a pretty honest bloke, and we all know he wears his heart on his sleeve. But those comments, like they even referenced, was it a game or two last season, and then the Munster game, and then the Glasgow game. Like I thought it was quite petty comments, to be honest. And I think on reflection, he might, once it all settles down, he might go, "Oh, geez, I wish I hadn't have said that. That just didn't come across right." I know he's emotional at the end of the game, and if it had went the other way, I don't think that Franco Smith would have come out with those comments, to be quite frank. And well, we'll see what comes of it, but it's a huge talking point getting into next season. And if they find themselves in a final or semi-final next season with the same referee, I'm sure it'll be brought up in conversation, that's for sure.
That's a good one at the coin toss. Yeah. Remember you shafted us last season? Good luck with that.
We've spoken a lot, Donkey, about the Ferguson brothers, Jack Dempsey. Kyle Steyn, talk to us about him as a captain and him as a player, because he's always been a good player, but for me, like the last 18 months, his game has just seemed to have gone up a notch, up another level.
Yeah, he's really grown into that role. He's been great. He lets others lead as well. It's not all about him. Sione does a lot of our speaking pre-game, and he's that guy that can touch on that emotional side and get the boys firing, where Kyle would be a wee bit more kind of technical detail, like kind of get our building blocks in place first before Sione goes and delivers the emotional side of it. And I think he's done a really good job of getting a young kind of team of leaders round about him that all are all hungry and all striving for the same goal. So I think his aerial skills in the game was just unbelievable, and he's so physical as well. Like I chinned him the last time he was injured. He went down to Bath to a speed school, and I always chinned him. Like he came back slow and all the rest of it, but he's genuinely a freak of an athlete. And he's done so well for us, and I'm delighted that he got to lift the trophy, because I can't imagine how good that feeling would be.
Yeah, he played a big factor in Hugh Jones' try as well. I tell you what was good sort of management as well, Donkey, was you had to go wide probably 5 or 10 minutes before, and you ended up getting turned over. Mm-hmm. But you go again, you back yourself, and you get the rewards for it, because you go wide, you come back into the middle, you go back to the left, and you find space, you find an overlap. It was a lovely ball from Jordan, real quick hands, TJ over the top, and then back inside Hugh Jones. But just having the guts to do that after you've been turned over.
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, we pride ourselves of playing an expansive brand at Glasgow, but like you say, like we found other ways to build into games. Like I think Leinster kicked long against the Bulls the following week, and you've seen how dangerous they've got if you give them extra time in the ball. That's why we maybe go with a more kind of contestable kicking game and put them under pressure that way, like, and not give them such clean, cheap ball to come and kind of counter attack you on. And I thought that try, it was well constructed. Like I think one ball maybe goes to the deck slightly, but
yeah,
how we recover
one at
it,
the back.
Yeah, how we recover it, and it's not natural people playing in their positions as well. I think TJ's the third last receiver, so other boys have done the job on the inside, and it just shows you when you're in your flow and you're in that kind of no one's kind of worried or kind of heckled that they might be slightly out of position. They're all just owning, doing their job, and yeah, we've reaped the rewards of clinical attack.
Well, look, Dunky, it's been great to have you on this show. You've got the awards tonight.
I'm just about to walk around with the family. My dad's here, my wife and the kids and my sister are all going. So, yeah, we'll go and have another couple of beers.
Hold on, Dougie. Before you go, though, tell them who woke up in your bed in South Africa.
Fully clothed Ryan Wilson. I woke up and I was like, what the heck? I thought Ryan's hotel was in Pretoria and we were in Joburg. So I knew I had no idea that Ryan was going to wake up beside me, but it was a rare treat. Absolutely.
Did you wake up facing each other, or were you facing away? Because the cardinal rule is if you share with another bloke in bed, you've got to face the other way.
No. Wilson was on his back with like the pillow wedged behind them, folded in two like that, with chewing gum still in his mouth.
I still have my chewing gum in from the night before. I don't know how I didn't die.
Yeah, but I'll take winning the title and waking up beside Ryan any day of the week. So yeah, that was a pleasure.
You go have another fantastic few weeks off now.
Thank you.
Massively deserved it.
Appreciate it.
And a great season.
Thank you. Cheers, guys. Thanks for having me.
Well done, Doggy.
Man, I feel like I know him after listening to you interviewing him most weeks.
Well, that's the problem, isn't it? That is the problem. But what a man, and like you said, like with Dunky, he's got a different role this season. But I know Franco really rates him, and he brings that leadership. He brings that old head to the group as well. You got a few of them like Richie Gray. So people like that are invaluable, especially in big games like that. And I know he didn't get on, but because Tom Jordan obviously got that yellow card at the end.
Yeah.
But if there was a man that I needed on a bench that could come on and slot 3 points in a huge final, that's what I'd want on there. Dunky Weir. So
do you know what I liked about that is that he was obviously top celebrating, right? Yeah, and like he didn't mean to. He just got carried away in the moment. And sometimes you get that, don't you? Like if you've sat on the bench, sometimes you can feel a little bit bitter, or you might not enjoy it as much. But the bloke is just exactly what you want. A proper team man, wants the best for the club, wants the best for the team. And that showed after with the amount of celebration. I mean, final whistle. Wow.
Oh, man. And I was sat on the bench again, boys. Guess what? I snuck onto the bench again because I was up in a Vodacom suite. So I did some stuff.
Of course you were.
And I was up in the Vodacom suite, and it was just Bulls fans. But I was giving it louder. I was screaming and shouting, clapping, and they did not see the funny side of it at all. Even Stephen Kitzel was like, "Well, you've got to settle down." And I'm like, no. The lady at the Vodacom suite came up to me about 15 minutes towards the end because it was getting tight. And she was like, I probably think it's best you head back down to pitch side. So down I went, back on the bench with the boys. But Dunky, Ollie, Kebble, these boys, they were all stripped, ready to go on. And then Tom Jordan got the yellow card. And it sort of threw a spanner in the works. So that's why they were all ready to go. They were ready to get involved. And, oh, man, I tell you what, watching Tom Jordan walk off that pitch, especially after that red card last year,
yeah,
and, I was thinking, please don't let this happen again for that young man.
I think the TMO was trying to do him a favour, wasn't he, Fez? Because they kept showing the wrong tackle. Because we saw it live, and we all went, ooh, that could be bad. Welcome, John Barkley. Better late than never. Where have you been? Dry skiing with the kids?
Just been with the kids, mate. Just been with the kids.
What have I missed? You've missed all the good chat. We've had Dunky Weir on.
Was Bog Brush
woke up next to Ryan Wilson.
know that.
Morning
Saw a
after the
video.
game. Oh,
You
so-
saw-
there's a
yeah.
video was there. There's a
John
video.
saw a video of him in the shower, not in the bed. But
It's a different video.
Anyway, John, you're just in time for Ryan to show us his winner's medal. Did you get one? Did you get one?
I've left it out there. Did you not see my interview with Shuggy where I went, mate, go find me a kit. I'm doing a John Terry. I would have as well.
I was going to say you would have as well, 100%.
Yeah, without a doubt. Oh no, like the celebrations afterwards.
Sorry, you covered it. When did you get back? Today?
I've literally just got back to Glasgow today because I flew back from South Africa yesterday, landed at 5 a.m. I had a few. I'll tell you what was even better is, I mean, I had a few the night of the game, and then I enjoyed myself the next day leading up to then going back to
It's the better day.
London.
The second one is the best day.
Exactly.
Bulletproof.
But then when I got onto the flight, I sat down, and who was next to me? Duhan van der Merwe. And you saw his face. He just was like, literally in the seat next to me, he was like, oh, please no. So yeah, I hassled him for ages, right up until he just took a sleep pill. He was like, well, so I've got nothing left for you. Boom, out he was gone. And yeah, landed in London yesterday, but because of the football, John, it didn't go so well. There was 50,000 Scotland fans coming back through London, so I had to go back to the old man's. You know what happens then.
All right, okay. Yeah, I've got a pretty good idea now of how you're feeling. You feel fresh.
John, you're a little bit late to the party, but we get your thoughts on the game so far.
Time. It was meant to be 6 o'clock start.
Dunky was just talking us through that try before half time, and probably, even though it's quite early, was the turning point in the game.
I agree, Tom. I agree with you again. It was. I don't know what you've said already, lads, but it was. And I don't know. You'd be close to what the lads have been chatting about. But they were 13 zip at that point. 13-0.
Yeah.
Yeah, hard to see. It was hard to see how they come back. They may have in the end, given how they played in the second half. I wouldn't have been surprised, but yeah, to have a bit of a foothold in the game, just something to go in at half time saying we've done that absolutely bugger all, and we're not too far out of touching this game. But yeah, big Scott Cummins. What's the comeback?
I tell you what, Shanks. Watching the game back and that last maul that was held up, is it Matt Tanzima, the sub loose head prop that come on for Steenkamp? Like, he had the ball under his right arm and Akker van der Merwe was trying to get it. And like, honestly, if he had it just broke off, I reckon like one phase later they were in for a try anyway. But he just held it in there, and as soon as he held, you could see the ball trying to be transferred. But there was a reason why Jake White didn't want to. It looked like he didn't want to bring him on because his rugby IQ just didn't kick in at that moment. He stayed in the mall. A couple of Glasgow lads flew in, and that was it. It was game over. But there was a big opportunity there for the Bulls to score with that last play of the game, and Matt Tanzima and Akker van der Merwe just couldn't get it over the line. So I know we talked about Jake White and some of the stuff he was saying post match, but the Bulls had opportunities at the end of the game to go on and either draw it or win it. So, for me, they can't have any excuses.
A couple of big things happened after they scored 3 points in the second half. They give a penalty away straight off the kickoff, don't they? And that ends up being the time that George Turner scores then after that penalty. They also had a shot at goal on around the 70-minute mark, just over 70 minutes, and they go for the corner. They come away with nothing, and you just sort of think when the points are on offer, you take them. They went for the kill early doors, and they probably didn't need to. So there were a couple of opportunities for them, but I don't know. You wouldn't say they deserve to win, would you?
No. Glasgow deserved to win, in my opinion. That second half performance.
We'd love to hear you say that, Steve. Has he said anything nice in the whole podcast yet about Glasgow or Scottish rugby? He never does.
Not Scottish rugby, John. Come on.
Well, Glasgow's part of Scottish rugby, mate. The biggest part now is the most important part.
Yeah. Well, that's it. They're flying the flag for Scottish rugby box. Like everyone spoke about Edinburgh this season, and with the roster they got, some of the players they've got in there, you're going, hold on a minute. Like, how are you not near the top? So Glasgow seriously flying the flag for Scottish rugby, and just looking at some of these tries as well, and some of those blokes like Hugh Jones came back from injury this season just in time because he doesn't have loads of moments in the game, but when he does have moments, they're 2 or 3 key moments that win the game. We saw it in Munster, didn't we, a couple of weeks ago, where he probably touched the ball 5 or 6 times, but out of 2 or 3 of those, he's made line breaks. He's put them on the front foot, and they score and tries for him. But here's the moment, isn't it? This is it where they manage to hold him up and get over there. You've got everyone in there, and
Jamie Dobie flying in.
I was close to coming in there with a few front flips, but I thought, no, that is a bit too far.
Can you imagine what they felt? They must have thought, 5 meters out, they're going to score here.
Man down. There's space there, isn't there? But unfortunately, the space isn't around the forwards. The space is out wide.
That must be the best way to win a game in terms of you thinking, we've got this too. They had the penalty, didn't they? The Hugh Jones turnover, which then got reversed for the high shot. Yeah. They're probably thinking, oh, we fucked it. We're on a line.
Yeah. It was it was a brilliant maul setup. Like, it was a brilliant maul setup. They just couldn't get the ball transferred back. And like, the credit has to go to Glasgow there, because there was obviously a couple of hands that were in there. Matt Tanzima should have broke off, but it was elation at the end of the game. And I'm watching it back. I think at the time, Shanks, I almost felt, I didn't feel it was as strong as performance as I now do feel it was, like on reflection and watching them, especially that second half back again. And the amount of people that have been texting me since the final whistle saying, geez, Glasgow, that's unbelievable balls to go down there, to be able to put in a shift and dominate a big, massive Bulls team in their own backyard, like, and come away with a victory is just ridiculous. So,
especially after
congrats to them, boys.
Well, they were so good. I mean, I think they kicked the ball 22 times, or near 22 times. It was double the amount against Leinster, and that might be a little bit down to Villy Leroux not being available, because he was very good against Leinster. So I think maybe tactically they got it slightly wrong. But again, you can't take anything away from what Glasgow produced. I think the biggest thing, Ryan, I don't know whether you'll have anything more to say on this, is that I think you look at Glasgow now and there's a proper, like, hard, tough edge to them. Not that they haven't before, but they've had to do this like Munster did the hard way. They've had to go away from home twice to 2 big rugby clubs and get a result.
Yeah, they have. They have got an hard edge. They've also added to an incredible attack with a serious defence. And Dunkey testified there for Peter Murchie, who changed the plan up a little bit over the last 2 weeks. They also changed the plan up how they wanted to play. They went direct. They were going more direct because they said Bulls won't expect it. So there was moments in that game where I think they changed it up. They were like, right, we're going direct. We're just going to try and hammer them, get as physical as we can possibly be. And honestly, the Bulls looked out on their feet towards 50, 60 minutes. I was sat there going, they don't look like they've got anything left in them, whereas Glasgow, and speaking to Shuggy today, he was like, I felt fresh. I felt good. So, they've got a hard edge about them. Franco Smith's got them fit. He's got them in the right place mentally. You know, you asked about Dunkey and whether they changed much before the game. I think he was trying to think of stuff that they did to make it a special occasion. That's not what they did. They kept it the same because what Franco Smith would have wanted is to be like, this is just another game. We're not trying to add anything to it. We're going to carry on playing the way we've been playing the whole season. And ultimately, that's what got them over. Whereas I know for a fact the Bulls did a special jersey presentation the day before they did the team run. They all had this jersey presentation. I was the mole in the camp. I was there at their team run. And you could see Jake White and that looking over at me, like pointing. Like, so I had to leave the stadium because I was watching the team run. Feet
on the roof, did you? You went mid on the roof. Oh, can you just let us know before we let you go, Wills? What was Franco a little bit more relaxed? You have a chat with him. We said he's going to have his tie around his head. He's going to be dancing away. What was he? What was he like?
Yeah, he was more relaxed. Like I said, he sat. He had a cigar. His family were there because obviously he's from South Africa. So a lot of his family were there. His mum and dad and his son was actually over there who plays, and his wife, his daughter. So he had the family around. So I think he had to sort of be a little bit more behaved because some of the boys we were going for it. But we made him sing. Obviously, he was up on a chair singing and all sorts. So he had a good night.
What did he sing?
Enjoyed it.
African song.
I have it my way. You know.
Frank Sinatra.
Frank Sinatra, yeah.
Bit of Frank Sinatra. So yeah, he's not got a very good voice. But other than that, No, I'm joking. He's got a great voice. He's given me access to Glasgow Warriors. He's got a brilliant voice.
Oh, well, Ryan, thank you for joining us, mate. I'm going to bat this one back to you.
Well, hold on. Let me take you out here. Look, you can start to see the scenes of what's starting to happen at Glasgow Warriors.
Well, there'll be a lot of people listening to this as a podcast. So just, Ryan's taking us backstage.
Wagon wheel.
They're coming in.
A lot of fans there at the stadium for presentations. Are you working tonight, Ryan? Are you doing anything? Are you handing out any awards or?
Mate, I'm getting back home as soon as I can. I'm trying to get out of the doghouse.
Yeah.
Have you been home yet? No.
For about an hour.
Oh, well, you've been a busy boy, mate.
Work, mate. Work.
But thanks for doing all the interviews on the weekend, mate. You've been amazing.
Right, boys. Take it easy.
Take care. Have a good off-season, mate.
See you, Ross.
Mental bloke. Absolute mental bloke. How many interviews do you do at the weekend?
And that's the only one we saw.
He was the perfect man for it. Absolutely. I couldn't think of anyone better to send there.
I tell you who we need to get on next year is I don't know what his name is. It's not a great link, but he dresses like a geography teacher, a bit like you, Fez. He wears like a jumper and tweed shirt, and he's real dry.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes, I've seen
it's
him
like
do
an
an
act, like an act he puts on for the interview. I don't know what his name is, but Will did something with him, and it was hilarious. So
that's
get him
what
on next year.
I think we need to get any disgruntled fans on, anyone edgy, anyone a little bit different. Just take them apart.
Shanks, how did you get on in Dublin after I heard JB went home early with Ross, and then you stayed out?
Oh, mate, don't. I'm not over it yet. He's done the dirty on me. Do you remember JB when we were doing some World Cup games and I was at the hotel and I was in bed and he said, "Come down." I got out of bed. I got changed to come down for it.
What time was it?
A few pints.
Yeah, exactly.
You snuck off.
No, I didn't sneak off. Hold on, let's just get
the
facts straight. I said, do you know who I blame? I blame producer Ben. He took us to the worst bar in Dublin.
We went to a better one after.
Well, there we go. Why don't we go there first? We went there. I was like, what the hell are we doing here? We'd been from like a really relaxed pub, drinking Guinness, straight to an absolute dive. And I was like,
R&B. They nearly didn't let you in because of your Patagonia t-shirt. They nearly didn't let you in because Stevie, he was looking smart, right? He was looking smart during the game and he went and changed to try and look like cool dad and put a Patagonia t-shirt on. And he just looked like he was doing 3 peaks.
Did you think you were going hiking around Dublin or something, JB? Like Patagonia, come on. I suppose it was sponsored. You needed to keep them happy.
This was coming from any 2 other guys who have a dress sense. I would take some offense from it, but I'll take you lads shopping any day.
Patagonia.
Anyway, what about your golf today, Shanks? You're looking like you got your Under Armour t-shirt on there. You've been playing Royal Porthcawl in the sunshine. How did you hit it?
Not very well. Not very well.
Yeah,
I had a couple of duff chips, that just go 10 yards, tight fairways. So yeah, bit of a nightmare. Anyway, right, this is a rugby podcast. This is a rugby show. Rants of the week. Ooh, just done my one. Being let down by your mates on a night out.
I've not got one. I'm just happy. Scottish rugby's on the up. Going to win the Six Nations. Nothing to moan about. We're in.
Mine would probably be, I know I've touched on it already, Shanks, just that Jake White interview. I don't think there was any need for it after the game. It's sort of just it's
reeked of desperation. It reeked of desperation.
Yeah.
Just
a horrible big grey cloud now sitting over the Bulls because they had a really good season. They had a brilliant season. Played okay in the final, just wasn't their day, and that's fair enough. You hold your hands up, but just to come out with that, and of course he's going to have his reasons for it, but I just couldn't understand it. And that's my rant. That Jake White's rant is my rant. There you go.
Yeah, he's cast a bit of a shadow. You're right, over the final, and there was no need for it. Just a bit of frustration maybe, and he might look back at that with a little bit of regret later on down the line. Summer internationals, boys.
There's my rant.
Ireland.
That's my rant. Sorry, I got rant.
What? All right.
We've got Ireland's tour to South Africa, England's tour to New Zealand. Where's the rest of the nations, lads? Scotland got a big tour to Chile this summer. Where Wales go? Wales have got to. Ben, what's going on, man?
We're going to Australia. So yeah. All right, fine. Just thinks he's basically just touched on England and Ireland there. Stevie, how big a tour is this to South Africa?
Yeah, like it was all good, Shanks, 2 weeks ago, and then Leinster get beaten and Munster get beaten, and then all of a sudden we're going, oh no, we've no strength and depth. Like all the pundits that are coming out and going with no strength and depth, and I'm going like, what are you watching? Like, it's bananas. Maybe Jack Crowley, like behind him, Prendergast, a couple of Burns, but there's still guys that are playing a high level of rugby week in and week out. Like, it's not like we're scraping the barrel here for players. So yeah, I just don't get that. It's been flashing up on my social media for the last couple of days about this, where are we going to find our next tag furlong from? I'm like seriously, come on, like we can't just be clutching at straws here just because we've had 2 provinces that have been beaten. They're going to go down to South Africa. They are massive underdogs now. But yeah, as what do you call the backs coach, South African, Shanks? Why is his name left me for Ireland? He's moving on at the end of the season.
Mike Cat.
Played for England. Yeah, Mike Cat. Like Mike Cat said in an interview there today or yesterday, just about some of the stuff, like just let the South Africans keep talking. Just let them talk. Like it's not going to affect us. It is what it is. And if they want to keep talking about us and what we have done at World Cups and what we're trying to do as a team, then just let them talk away. We're not going to waste our energy on it. Where it definitely feels like, I don't know, you've seen a lot of the interviews, the Etzebeth, the Damien Delende, there's maybe a couple of others along the way, talking about Ireland being just not being, I'm not sure what the word I'm looking for is, but in the way that they handled their victory against South Africa in the Rugby World Cup, respect amongst that. So yeah, expect a bit of a backlash in this summer tour. Will Rassie throw a number of players in there to give him chances against Ireland? He might possibly do, but I think Rassie will be wanting to absolutely dominate Ireland and try and get a 2-0 victory. And do I think it's going to be like that? I don't. I think it's going to be 1-1. I think Ireland's got a really good chance if they continue to play that rugby. And yeah, I'm going to go for a 1-1, Shanks. And hopefully we see a couple of these young, fresh-faced boys that get an opportunity.
The big one for me now with England to New Zealand is what are New Zealand going to be like? I've seen them play for ages.
Yeah.
Like there's a bit of unknown with there. I mean, that's up there with South Africa's toughest place to tour. I tell you, England looked pretty good against Japan. I know Japan are slightly different, but Marcus Smith at 10. It seems like a younger team, a bit more freedom to play. Maybe it's going to be. I tell you, they're big tours. This is going to be exciting. You got Ireland, South Africa, England, New Zealand. Ooh. Don't know which way that's going to go. It'd be massive for England if they win. I think they've got a really strong pack. I think they're playing some really good rugby. It's just whether Steve Borthwick can get them to gel.
How many tests they play? 2 or 3? Do you know?
I don't know. They played one against Japan, so would they have 4 tests over there? Probably not. I think it might be 3.
No,
it must be 2. Yeah,
no.
I'm going 2 zip to New Zealand.
I'm going 1-1.
I'm gonna go 2-0. Did you watch the Super Rugby final?
No.
The Blues versus who were they playing? Yeah, but I just caught highlights of it. Oh my god, the Blues, unbelievable. Coached by Vern Cotter. Did he coach you, JB?
Yeah, he was there, and he disappeared. He went to coach Fiji and disappeared, and just everyone thought he was done. He's a good man, Vern.
Yeah, they were very impressive. So a lot of boys will be chomping at the bit from the Blues team to get the ABs.
Yeah,
Cheers,
just two
John.
tests.
So,
Just
yeah.
2 tests it is for England, lads. It's just 2 tests. So
Scott Robertson's first games, is that right?
yeah, I think so.
Yep.
I think
yeah.
you're going to see. I expect. Well, look what happened to the Crusaders when he left. I think he will make a huge difference.
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure Wales going to do very well down in Australia after watching them against South Africa. Lacked a lot of ideas. There's a bit of unrest in the camp as well. There's
Shanks, just on that.
Yeah.
I seen your tweet.
Yeah.
And it was in support of Sam Parry.
Yes.
Yeah. Just explain to the listeners of what actually has happened there, and obviously Gatland's response to a lot of the media questions over the last few days. And to be honest, I'm in your camp on it. So
yeah, he's basically been told that he's not there to play. He's there to help support, to get the boys ready. He's not got a chance of playing. That they've got 3 world-class hookers. And they've also got Sam Parry. He's not been spoken to in the camp. He's not really been treated right. And I just think it's really bad man management all around. I think the one thing you've got to do as a coach is give everyone hope. Even if in your head you're thinking, right, I'm not going to pick him, you got to motivate them, because it only takes one bad apple, doesn't it, to ruin a load.
Yeah.
So only takes one player to start sapping, to bring other players on and start having sappuccinos at lunchtime, and all of a sudden then you create a really bad culture. So culture is everything. It's massive. And like I'm with him.
Peter Griffith 11 disagreed with you.
Yeah.
He said, Tom, you are an utter disgrace. You run with the hare and the hounds.
Spelled hair wrong.
You are not and never will be a patch on your father. He was a decent bloke.
he went proper personal. Personal.
I love it. He didn't say your dad was a good bloke, just a decent.
How many followers has he got?
He's an egg anyway. He's not got a profile, is he? He's got 12 followers.
12.
His bio is
legend.
Don't want to divulge, but it's not. It's Don space T want to divulge. You forgot the
right. We're going to try and get him on this podcast.
Peter Griffiths, come on next year. We'll fucking shred you, pal.
The camp was set up on Saturday night, 11:30, which makes you think it's you, John. You've set that. I don't think it's great at the moment in Welsh camp from what you're hearing. They certainly didn't play very well.
Just on Gatland's response, and then he obviously said that he's explained to him, he's tried to be transparent to the player instead of maybe bullshitting him. Like, is that the right thing to do? Like, do you know what I mean? Or do you think it's?
No, I don't think so. Sometimes you can't tell the truth. I don't think you've got to create culture, and you've got to create an atmosphere where everyone thinks they've got a chance, because that's how you're going to get the best out of people, especially someone who's 32 years old, who's a massive respected campaigner, who is really well liked, who's been there and done it. With the Ospreys, he's been in and out of the Welsh squad. He hasn't even been picked for a lot of the time, even when he's been playing well. He gets picked, and all of a sudden, then he's being told, "Well, I've only picked you basically because."
Many other players, Shanks, are in the same boat as Sam Parry.
There probably would be a few, Stevie, but it depends. If you're young in that squad, then you can handle that because you're new into the squad, and there's people that get picked that are there for experience. I mean, there's another player, Regan Grace, has been called in, a rugby league player. What sort of message is that giving Welsh wingers at the moment? No matter how well you play, you know, if they've got an idea and they're going to pick a rugby league player to come in way ahead of you, then I just think it's bad culture. I think Morgan Morris,
Corey Hill,
can't play any better for his club, yet he still doesn't get picked. And that's how you build culture, and that's how you build a good culture in a club, is that you get rewarded for your club form. He may not make it, but he deserves a shot. So I think it's not looking that rosy there. And I think we've only got away with one recognised number 10 who struggled a little bit at the weekend. Tighthead we're struggling massively with.
Can you imagine this?
Jack Morgan, we've lost now. as well. Elliot D is now injured as well. So I just think it's going to be really tough. Australia a little bit unknown, aren't they, lads? Because obviously after the World Cup, Joe Schmidt's gone in there. Sometimes that's all it takes, isn't it? Just a change of voice.
Yeah.
So be wary of them. And Scotland, John, Canada first up. Is that right?
I actually don't know. I think they're playing Paraguay and Venezuela or something. I've got no idea. No, they actually said, I don't know why they're sending a load of lads. I thought they'd send literally nobody, but they're sending quite a few. I think Xander's been left, like guys like Xander who they can't afford to leave. But
yeah,
I think they are playing Chile and some. I actually don't know. It's a bit of a nothing tour, which I think will be a bit of a frustration.
Uruguay.
Yeah, well, they're definitely playing Canada on the 6th of July.
Canada, maybe, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And then the following week, they've got USA.
Yeah, Canada, USA, Uruguay, Chile.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah,
a hell of a fun tour, I bet. There's going to be some stupid in that tour.
That's the other tours you want to get on, because you're more likely going to win and you're going to have a hell of a laugh.
Yeah, you have a hell of a laugh. There'll be some stories that'll come out of that, or maybe there won't be. Into the grave. I reckon, I think just be young lads trying to come through. They'll give. I think maybe I don't even know who would be the strongest team within that. Bizarrely, maybe Chile or someone would be the strongest of that lot, because Canada in bankruptcy, so USA. I hope that some of the young lads get a shot. Maybe guys for Glasgow that have maybe put their hands up. A couple of guys from Edinburgh as well. I think Darcy Graham's touring. He's not played all year, so I'll go and see. Won't learn a huge amount from that tour, I don't think.
No, well, it's great that we've got a bit of summer rugby on to keep all the rugby noses happy. Lads, that is it.
Oh, emotional.
That's the end of another series.
Have
you enjoyed it? Have you enjoyed it?
Oh, I loved it. Can't believe we're going to wait 3 months. 3 months? When do we start again? 3 months' time?
Yeah. We thank you all for watching, and we thank you all for listening and downloading the podcast. We are back for round 1, which is towards the end of September. We appreciate your downloads and enjoy the summer off. We will see you soon. From myself, John Barkley, Stephen Ferris, goodbye.
Peace out.